Just imagine this. A secret place, completely cut off from the normal world, where children are taken at a very young age and trained to become ruthless warriors. A single warrior, equal to 100 men. And that is exactly what happens in today's story. The story begins in a tattoo shop. An old man is tattooing a gangster's shoulder. Suddenly, the gangster hands him an envelope. Inside the envelope, there is a black mark. The thugs around him do not understand what it means, but the moment the old man sees it, he freezes in place. That black mark means one thing: the most dangerous ninjas in the world are coming. The old man explains that many years ago, he encountered these warriors himself. He knows exactly how deadly they are. Then he shows them an old scar on his chest. The truth is, the old man's heart is located on the right side of his chest. That is the only reason he survived a ninja's attack in the past. Suddenly, in a single moment, a man's head is separated from his body. Panic spreads everywhere. Then a wire drops from the ceiling and pulls one man up into the darkness. When he comes back down, his body is torn into pieces. These ninjas always attack from the shadows. Within seconds, they turn the entire place into a river of blood. After killing everyone, the ninjas finally step out of the darkness. The story then takes us to Japan, where we learn about the Ozunu clan. This is one of the most dangerous ninja bloodlines in history. Their leader is Lord Ozunu. They travel around the world, gathering children and putting them through brutal training in order to turn them into ninjas. All powerful world leaders know about these ninjas, but ordinary people have no idea they exist. For 100 kilograms of gold, they can assassinate anyone. One day, they bring in a young boy. His parents abandoned him. Ozunu takes him in and feels that this child will one day become the leader of the clan. Because of that, his training is harsher than anyone else's. By the age of 10, his body is covered in scars, each one a punishment for a mistake. So Reizo is forced to walk on wooden floors. They teach that a ninja must always remain silent and unseen. If he makes even the slightest sound, Ozunu strikes his leg violently. At night, Reizo cannot sleep because of the pain. One night, a girl named Kiriko comes to him. She is training to become a ninja too. She gently treats his wounds. In the clan, they are taught to eliminate all emotions. But Kiriko is different. She believes killing is wrong. As the years pass, Reizo grows stronger. They rarely speak, only exchange distant glances. Reizo eventually becomes the most skilled ninja in the Ozunu clan. But when he faces the senior ninja Takashi, he loses. Takashi attacks him dishonorably. Instead of defending Reizo, Ozunu calls him weak and humiliates him. Takashi drives his fingers violently into Reizo's stomach. Reizo screams in pain. The next morning, Ozunu sees Reizo training again despite his injuries. His determination makes Ozunu proud. Soon, Reizo can defeat any opponent, even with his eyes closed. But Kiriko still cannot accept the violence. Reizo warns her, "If Ozunu finds out, he will rip your heart out." She replies, "My heart is already with you, how could he take it?" One day, Kiriko is ordered to kill someone with a knife. She refuses. Ozunu slashes her face and locks her in a cage. That night, Reizo secretly visits her and gives her water. Later, Kiriko attempts to escape. She asks Reizo to run away with her. But Reizo remains loyal to Ozunu. Kiriko is captured and sentenced to death. In front of everyone, Takashi kills her with a strike to the heart. That day, something inside Reizo dies as well. Yet he remains with Ozunu. Years later, in Berlin, a woman named Mika discovers evidence of the ninja's existence. She brings the evidence to her boss, Maslow. Maslow refuses to believe that such secret ninjas exist, known only to powerful elites. But Mika shows proof. Suspicious money transfers, political assassinations, and links connecting everything back to the ninjas. Maslow decides to investigate further. He learns that a spy named Sabaton had also collected similar evidence. But soon after, Sabaton disappears. The man had been killed, murdered in cold blood. Meanwhile, Reizo was in Berlin for a special mission. He was staying alone in an abandoned house, training intensely every single morning. One day, he went to a laundromat. There, he saw a woman. The moment he looked at her, he immediately realized she was a ninja. At that very instant, they both attacked each other, and a fierce fight broke out. After a brutal battle, Reizo stuffed her inside a washing machine, turned it on, and walked away. At the same time, Mika went to meet the wife of the spy who had been killed after discovering evidence about the ninjas. The woman explained that her husband had always been brave. However, after what he discovered, he became terrified. He locked every window and door with at least 2 locks. He kept every corner of the house brightly lit. He left no space for shadows, afraid that a ninja might hide there. But on the night they came, the lights began turning off by themselves. The next day, an officer visited Mika at her office because she was investigating matters that were beyond her authority. That night, Mika carefully returned home. She noticed that the entire street had no electricity. Despite that, she went inside her house. Suddenly, a ninja attacked her. Surprisingly, another ninja appeared and saved her, killing all the attackers. That ninja was Reizo. Earlier, during one of his missions, Reizo had unleashed all his anger and brutally killed his target. After completing that mission, he met the other ninjas on a rooftop. Lord Ozunu told him he was proud of him. But suddenly, Reizo attacked Ozunu and slashed his eye and face. The other ninjas severely wounded Reizo for attacking their leader and threw him off the roof. Fortunately, he fell into water and survived. From that day on, Reizo began working against the ninjas, sabotaging their missions. That is why he saved Mika. Afterward, Reizo and Mika went to a hotel and changed their clothes because ninjas possess exceptional hearing abilities and can track people through sound. Mika told Reizo that she was on his side. However, Maslow had received orders to capture Reizo. Maslow knew Reizo was not his enemy, but orders had to be followed. When Maslow went to meet Mika and Reizo, the police arrested Reizo. He was imprisoned in a remote facility and chained up. When Mika discovered that Maslow was involved, she confronted him. However, he refused to release Reizo, claiming that prison was the safest place for him from the ninjas. That night, Mika went to give Reizo water. Reizo warned her that the ninjas would come at any moment. She tried to warn Maslow, but it was already too late. Suddenly, the lights went out. The ninjas emerged from the darkness. Even a squad of heavily armed soldiers was no match for these deadly warriors. Mika unlocked Reizo's chains and freed him. He told her to run. Although Reizo was the most skilled ninja of the Ozuna clan, facing so many ninjas at once was overwhelming even for him. Eventually, Reizo and Takashi fought their way into the street. Takashi was about to kill Reizo with his sword when Mika hit Takashi from behind with her car. She took Reizo back to the hotel. Although he was severely injured, he refused to see a doctor. Mika sat beside him while he was unconscious, thanking him for saving her life. She then activated a tracking device so Maslow could locate them. Before the police arrived, the ninjas reached them first and captured Reizo. When the police arrived, the place was empty. Mika explained that the ninjas had taken him just 10 minutes earlier. Reizo was brought before Lord Ozunu. Ozunu gave him one last chance to apologize. But Reizo refused to kneel. Ozunu's anger reached its peak because years ago he had believed Reizo would one day become the leader of the clan. He placed Reizo where Kiriko once stood and began striking him repeatedly with deadly finger attacks. Normally, one strike from Ozunu would kill a man. But Reizo only coughed up blood. Along with the blood, the tracking device fell out. At that exact moment, Mika led a large police force in an assault on the compound. Explosions erupted, killing many ninjas. It became a bloody battle with heavy casualties on both sides. In the middle of the chaos, Takashi and his men surrounded Reizo. Reizo began fighting the ninjas around him. One after another, they fell before him. Until finally, he and Takashi stood face to face. Both of them used all their strength in the battle. In the end, Reizo won the fight and struck Takashi with a powerful blow that cut part of his body. Now it was Ozunu's turn. Reizo found Ozunu sitting calmly inside a room, as if the explosions and battles happening outside meant nothing to him. Suddenly, Ozunu vanished into thin air. A moment later, he appeared from the darkness behind Reizo and, with a single strike, threw him into the air. Then both of them drew their swords, each thirsty for the other's blood. Ozunu gave Reizo one last chance to apologize. He told him that he was like a father to him. He was the one who took him in and raised him when he was just a child, and the one who helped him reach this level of strength. But Reizo replied, "I am no one's son, and I will not take my first breath of freedom until I kill you." Then he attacked him, but Ozunu disappeared once again. At that moment, Mika arrived to help Reizo. But Ozunu took advantage of the moment, appeared behind her, and stabbed his sword into her chest. When Reizo saw that, he remembered the moment Kiriko, his childhood love, was killed in front of his eyes. Rage completely took over him. With one powerful strike of his sword, he cut Ozunu into 3 pieces. After that, Reizo quickly carried Mika out. The doctors examined her and discovered that her heart was located on the right side of her chest. That was the reason she was still alive and would survive. In the end, Reizo destroyed the walls of the academy where he had once trained and fulfilled the wish that Kiriko had always dreamed of. Then he walked away from the place, still carrying her love in his heart. And that's how the story ends. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming movie recaps and amazing stories.